Let's do this. Ninjas, so I got an invite from the Mind, Body and Soul Beauty Spa here in Midrand, and of course I had to go. I will not lie, the experience was superb. Everyone was super nice. Also got to meet the CEO and founder of the spa, and she showed us around. More info will be in the vlog that will come. Now you can obviously go there. All the details will be in the description box down below. They have a lot of stuff, you guys. The massages, the prices are very affordable. You can do your hair, you can do your nails. Child, look how gorgeous my girl looks over there, so check it out. Oh, guys, look at the treatment. Hi my ninjas, how are you guys doing? It's a girl, I'm 𝗣𝗺𝗿𝗲𝗿𝗄𝗏, aka 𝗣𝗺𝗿𝗿𝗲𝗿 for all entertainment. If it's your first time joining me, almost definitely welcome. Please do make sure that you subscribe and obviously hit the bell. I absolutely love you, and do not forget, follow me on Instagram. It's at @boldly_Owamie. Now my ninjas, following me, you guys, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, it legit helps me so much. You guys always confess you love me, but I just, I know some of you are already following me, obviously, and I'm really so thankful for that. But if you really love me, you enjoy the content that I give out, you enjoy the message that I push, then please make sure that you follow me on all platforms. I will link the link of everything in the description box. I promise you, if you go to the description box right now, you're going to get it. It helps me as a brand and as a person so much, you guys. So thank you so much to everyone anyway that has already followed, and let's go ahead and just get into this video. Now ninjas, whenever I do this type of videos or this type of story times, it's really not to make someone look bad. It's not to seek sympathy. I'm one of those people that do not need sympathy from anyone. Trust me, in the right. But I do these videos because I personally feel if I learn something, I should go ahead and have a sister also know, I just don't believe in us women making the same mistake over and over again and we just keep quiet. If I went through something, I don't see a reason why my sister should go through the same thing I went through. If it was something that I realized, oh my gosh, this was a stupid move, and so obviously that's how I also feel with you guys, my ninjas. You're family to me, so that's why I'm so open and I talk about everything, almost anyway. But today's story time, you guys, is one of those that legit broke me to the core. And yes, I'm gonna shine, you guys. I've had this makeup the whole day, so please excuse me. I've puffed, but I'm oily. So basically, you guys, I did see the response that you guys basically had from my previous video that I was talking about my update on the divorce. I saw a lot of you guys were pissed. I feel like it was more emotional just because of I just spoken to him and we were fighting and I was just literally crying. So it is what it is. It's I'm gonna give you guys another update later, but thank you so much for all your advices. My lawyer and I are actually looking into some of them, so obviously I'll give you guys an update, but yeah, thank you so much, ninjas. Anyway, this story time, you guys, is something that happened back in 2013. I basically, at that moment, I was engaged, but I'd say, yeah, I was engaged, but I don't even know how to say this. We were already staying together. So from the time that we stayed together, we basically we were married. We were living as a married couple, and so we were married at that moment in our heads and how we did it, just how we used to, you guys know that my lobola was only paid in 2018 and there were reasons for that and stuff like that. But all in all, I count from the time that we started staying together, and so that was when we were okay, we're married. At that moment, I already had a ring, and my mom had just passed, obviously. This was the time when we're going to obviously to my mom's funeral. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys everything. Honestly, I don't care anymore. If he gets embarrassed or whatever, this is the truth. If he wants to dispute it, he can go ahead and dispute it, but this is the honest truth. So basically, you guys, my mom passed on the 23rd of August 2013, and when she passed, it was on a Friday. So the following Saturday, you guys can do the calculations to find exact date. That was when she basically got buried. So at that time, when my mom passed, she had already I had already spoken to my mom that, I met someone, and Mr. B and my mom used to communicate a lot. Like, they used to talk a lot. My mom loved him like nobody's business. And so, I even remember that, she basically like asked him, like, guys, and she also spoke to me to say that no matter what happens, guys, please don't break up. That's what she said. But I guess my mom just also never anticipated that, he would cheat on me and treat me the way that he actually treated me. So it was one of those things that were also very difficult when I had to make a decision to leave, that this is the only man that I've ever shared that part of my life with, where my mom was still alive and all that. But at the end of the day, I personally just felt like I cannot dwell in the past, But basically, when all that happened, at that moment, I was driving a 𝗣𝗵𝗺𝗴𝗲. I bought that car cash, and it was a second hand. And then Mr. B at that time was driving a Nissan Tida, a sedan. Now, the amount of money that Mr. B was making was not a lot. I was earning more than him when I met him. So I was basically the one that was paying for the car and also paying for the insurance. Guys, I don't even want to lie, like, I was still very young, mind you, 21, like, I was still very, very young. But it is what it is. We all make those mistakes and we all do grow. Unfortunately, I didn't have an Owamie on YouTube that was basically giving me these tricks to say, girl, be careful of this and that. And so basically, you guys, like, I was legit paying for the car and also like paying for the insurance of the car. Mine was bought cash, as I said. So, it was one car that was financed as we were using. We're staying together at that moment. Our finances were basically, almost, we had almost started to mix money. I think we fully mixed money after my mom passed. I can't remember proper, but yeah, that was what was happening. So when my mom got sick, I drove home, and when I got home, obviously my mom passed. I called Mr. B to tell him that my mama passed. Since they knew about him at home, and my mom used to talk to Mr. B's mom, Mr. B's mom was like, oh, we're gonna have to come and obviously support you and all that. Now, at this moment, they both didn't know that we were already staying together, right? His mom didn't know, my mom didn't know. All they knew was just that we're engaged, and, obviously they're soon gonna have to start, like, the processes of lobola, negotiations and stuff like that. And, when my mom passed, obviously a lot of things went upside down. And Mr. B's mom decided that she wanted to come to 𝗣𝗺𝗴𝗲. And so she came with the Mr. B's younger brother, who unfortunately passed away recently. Some of you, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that. And then it was the three of them. Now, Mr. B had to leave school, 𝗣𝗺𝗴𝗲𝗏, and drive to Free State and fetch the mother and the brother and then drive to 𝗣𝗺𝗴𝗲. So the first thing that I go ahead and tell you is that, as I'm saying, at that time, obviously we had not like mixed money, if I'm not mistaken. I had to basically like send him money for him to drive home, fetch his mother and his brother, and drive to 𝗣𝗺𝗴𝗏. And I remember at that time I sent about 2,000 rands. It was 2,000 rands that I sent. And mind you guys, that was back in 2013. Like, money had more value, obviously, if you understand like how money works. And so it was like enough for him to pour petrol to go home, and then pour another petrol to come back, and then also pay the toll gates and stuff like that. And so in the whole trip for them to go to 𝗣𝗺𝗴𝗏, his mother, his father, they did not contribute a cent. Himself, he did not contribute a cent, because remember, I sent him money for petrol and everything. So when they arrived on a Thursday, and it was just quite a crazy day. Something had happened in the afternoon that had hurt me so much. And so we were busy also like up and down, having to prepare, because it was my father, me, my baby sisters that were going up and down, like preparing, like, when someone has passed, you have to go to this department. My mom was a nurse, so where to go to where she worked, where to go to this department, that department. They had where to go to high court. There were papers that had to be signed. There was this, there was that, there was that. And we were basically just trying to get everything done within 1 week, so that after the funeral, like, we're done with everything, or majority of the stuff. So at that moment, after my mom passed, you guys, at home, obviously they were thinking for me. They knew that bed. I was not in a good headspace, so I was not allowed to drive. I could drive from my home to my grandmom's place, but that was it. They didn't allow me to like go to the main road, which obviously is understandable. Like they knew that I was traumatized since my mom passed, and so we were using my father's car and were doing all this stuff. So Mr. B and his mother and his brother, they arrived a little bit earlier. I think they arrived at around past 2, almost to 3. And then, you know, he calls me to say that we have arrived. Why here? As I said, that afternoon, there was a lot that had happened, and there was stuff that had happened that obviously were out of my control. It was also the day that we had to get my mother the last clothes that she was going to wear. So you need to understand, like, the mentality that you're in. I'm the firstborn, and my father basically just said, you know, here's the money, you can go and buy, like, you know, the outfits. We had to get outfits for ourselves for the funeral. We had to get the outfit that my mom was going to wear. And you need to understand that, like, when you're going through that, you guys, like, you're thinking this is the last clothes that she's going to wear. She's not here to tell me, like, this is what I would love to wear. So we have to be here now, basically just saying, like, okay, what is it maybe that she would have loved to be a final outfit? Because, you know, that is a very weird topic to can have, but I honestly did wish that, you know, we had that conversation with my mom, to say, you know, when you pass, or if you pass, like, what kind of outfit would you like? Then you would just know, because at that time you keep on like second guessing yourself. I don't know if that happened to me, because obviously I was still young. So, you know, obviously when all that happened, we ended up actually going to get Mr. B and his mom and his brother maybe at around past 5. So they did wait maybe about 2 hours for us, because we're finishing up what we were doing. Mind you, as I'm saying, I didn't have a car. I was with my dad and we were all there. So obviously we're all doing this. My father was not going to just say, oh, let's rush and go and get them home, and we are not going to continue with what we're supposed to do. Which I did explain to Mr. B to say this is what's happening, and he said that was fine. Now, when I went to the car, you guys, mind you, the first time I ever saw my mother or ex-mother-in-law for the very first time was that time during my mother's funeral. Yes, we used to speak over the phone, but I had never met her face to face. She knew that I was engaged, you guys. The first thing she ever said to me was, let me see your ring. Like, legit, that was the thing. So obviously I showed her the ring, and she was like, yeah, it's very beautiful. I said, oh, thank you. But the way that she spoke, it kind of like took me back. But then I was like, you know what? Okay, that's fine. And then after that, you guys, like, we go home basically. So when we get home, that was Thursday night, the first thing that my mother-in-law said to me was, yo, Tembu, why didn't you tell me ukuthi kini ba rich kanje? Like, why ungantshelanga ukuthi kini ba rich kanje? Like, why didn't you tell me that at your home you guys are this rich? Now, honestly, you guys, I don't consider myself that I'm from a rich family. I am from a well-off family. Yes, I am. I didn't honestly understand. Number one, I had never been to Mr. B's house or anything like that, so I didn't know where they stay. I don't know where they came from. But I was just quite shocked at the mentality. Like, you're here for my mother's funeral. You legit think that I'm gonna be sitting here and being like, oh yeah, my father has a big house. Oh yeah, my father has this cars. Oh yeah, my uncle, because the huge compound, this and this. Like, no, all that does not matter to me, because it's not mine. It's my father's and everyone else's that worked for them. It's not mine. And don't even get it wrong, I don't even get a cent from home. Okay, not even 1 rand. So for me, it honestly, like, was just one of those things that, like, it didn't matter to me. For me, you understand. And so I was just really taken back. The attitude, honestly, once she got to my home, was weird. And so that was Thursday. Now, Friday morning, we had to wake up. We had to still go do some stuff, preparing for the funeral. And later that day, we also later that night, Friday, that was when we had to go to the mortuary and obviously, like, you know, say our final goodbyes. And so, you know, it's a day that you're very nervous. This is the last day you're going to see your mom. This is like the proper first time that you're gonna, like, see your mom late, like, laying there. You don't know what to expect. You're scared. You're young. You're a child. And so in the morning when I woke up, because we had a lot of stuff that we had to do, number one, she insisted that she sleeps with me when we were there. So she and I had to share a room, and my baby sisters had to sleep at my grandmother's place, because when my mom passed, we all decided that we were gonna just be sleeping at my grandmother's place. We didn't like the in and out that people were doing in the house, and besides, you hear people talk, and it was just too much for us basically. So we were sleeping at my aunt's place. And so when that happened, when she came, she insisted that she wanted to sleep with me. And so, okay, I had to let go of my sisters, which it was something that I wasn't happy with. But I was like, okay, you know what? I also have to sacrifice because she came all this way, right? When she came, she had a problem with her back. And then I remember that when we were out during the day, I had that, she was in pain. She was asking help for people and stuff like that. I didn't really want to entertain those stuff too much because now we were like honestly busy. And then, in the morning when I woke up, I basically wore like my trousers. I wore my black pants and I wore a top and I just had a hat on. And, at my home, like my dad is not one of those people that are going to be like, you need to dress like this because there's a funeral, or you need to dress like this, like this. He used to do that when we were young, like to say you can't wear that, you can't do that. But now, because we're adults, like he doesn't even, we support ourselves. So he is not going to tell you, you can't wear this, you can wear that, right? So, she started complaining that I was wearing pants. She was like, how do you wear pants? And it's even a funeral, you have to respect. I'm like, no, in our family, like, it is okay. Like, this is fine. This is how everything is done. So, okay, fine. I left, and then obviously the whole day went by. Friday, we come back. When we come back, it's now that everyone has to now go to say the final goodbyes. My father was very much, I won't lie, the time that the funeral was going on, my father really tried a lot. My father is not like, he's a typical 𝗣𝗺𝗿𝗴 man, so he's not someone that is emotional. He's not the kind of father that will hug you. He's not the kind of father that will tell you, I love you. Like, he's not those kind of people. But during the funeral, he made sure that, he wanted to be with me and my two baby sisters. So in the car, he wouldn't even let anyone in. He just wanted it to be us in the car. So it would be the four of us, and that's it. Like, you understand? So, when obviously Mr. B came, I told my father that obviously, like, he won't know the roads, so I have to go with him and be in the car with him, so that whenever we're going anywhere, we'll be able to obviously see like where it is that we need to go, he needs to go and stuff like that. So my father understood. He was like, okay, that's fine. Now we went, obviously, you guys, to view to say our final goodbyes. And obviously that is an experience that if you have ever lost a mom or you've lost a loved one, it is one of the worst things that you can ever go through. This is the person that but it's like, it's not a person that And I think that because our mom passed when we were so young, we didn't really have access to her. I wish that we had. Oh, damn it. I wish that we had more access, but we were young, so we didn't. And then, okay, that is fine. We were crying, you guys. I was crying so much. I remember one of my cousins came and said, Owamie, you can't cry like this. What about the kids? And I remember I told him, if it was your mother, would you still say don't cry? Like, leave me alone. I was just like going off at people. And then after that, when we were about to go, because my father saw how broken I was, he basically sent someone to say, hey, go and call 𝗵𝗺𝗴𝗶. We need to go together. 𝗵𝗵𝗴𝗶 is my vendor name, basically. So to not confuse you guys, I'll just go ahead and make it seem like he was saying Owamie, but it's 𝗵𝗺𝗴𝗶 that he was saying. And so he said, hey, go and call Owamie so that we can go, even though we didn't come together. But I think that, he saw how broken I was. So, I told my father, no, it's okay. I'll be okay, because I know there's no way he can go back home by himself. Like, at this moment, I'm thinking for Mr. B, I'm thinking for his brother, I'm thinking for his mother. I'm even leaving my own mother's children. I don't want to, like... Oh, crap. And this has nothing to do with him or anything. Like, I'm revisiting some old memories. Okay, I think we're fine. Okay. So, I didn't mess up this crazy makeup. But anyway, I decided that I'm going to go with Mr. B, right? I go with Mr. B. Guys, at that moment, like, I didn't know what was happening. I couldn't see blue from left. I couldn't see right from, like, I didn't expect that whole experience to, like, shaka me, right? The way that it actually did. So basically what happened was that we got lost. We got lost, and then we went via this other road that was very, like, slopey, I should say. And then, you know, I'm busy, like, at home. They're calling, like, where are you guys? Because, like, you're taking time, should have been here already. And then you know, Mr. B's mom is busy shouting and yelling, like, hey, you know, we're lost now. If this car gets into an accident, who's gonna fix it? First of all, nigga, I'm the one paying for this car. I'm the one even paying for the insurance. So the insurance clearly that I'm paying is going to fix this car. When I tell you that woman went off in the car, she was so pissed that we got lost. She was so pissed at the fact that what will happen if this car is in an accident and stuff like that. This is somebody that left her house without even popping a cent. I had to, like, transport them. The only thing that her son did was drive them. They didn't even pop up a cent. If they say they did, let one of them actually speak out and say this is how much we popped up, because that would actually be a lie. I was so pissed, you guys. Mind you guys, I could have easily just gone in with my father and go home so that I can grieve my mother, who we are gonna be burying tomorrow. I just saw my mom for the last time ever in this whole wild world, and you're out here, like, busy shouting and screaming of who's going to fix this car if this guy's in an accident. Do you really think I give a fuck at this moment about this damn car that I'm paying? I wanted to make it clear that I was paying for this car so that you guys can understand, like, how stupid this whole thing was, because she was under the impression that her son was the one that was paying for the car. And that is the biggest problem that as women sometimes we do. We always want our men to look so good that we end up lying. And so people have the wrong information. And that's why sometimes I feel like they treat us so horribly, because they do not know what is it that we're bringing to the table. We brought the whole table, and everything that she's busy eating is brought by me. Your child brought Jack. Okay? So, you know, obviously I was, like, very much pissed. I basically just took my phone. I didn't say anything. I took my phone. I punched in the address. And then after punching in the address, I basically, like, it took us home, and then we got home. You know, mind you guys, we're in the villages, so it's difficult to kind of, like, punch in address and stuff. I can't remember how we did it back then, because I don't think that even the WhatsApp thing was there, but I think I just punched in the village. And so we obviously maneuvered from where we were, because it was in the side of 𝗣𝗺𝗃𝗃. And then obviously when we got to the main road, I could see my way, and then obviously I directed from there, and then we got home. Now, when we got home, you guys, I thought the worst was over, but no, the worst was not over. My mother-in-law went on to sit me down. I was burying my mother the following day. She sat me down and she started yelling at me in my father's house. And she was basically saying that I know that runa badidi. That's what she said. I didn't even know what badidi means. What that means is that we know that sikak. That's what she said, like, meaning that we are poor people, and that you know, like, she was saying that she knows that bona they are poor people. And that now, like, maybe I'm treating them like this because they're poor. And, you know, I should just know that bona, tomorrow after they are done, like, with the funeral of burying my mother, they're packing their stuff and they're leaving. When they arrived, they told everyone that, you know, they're going to arrive on Thursday, they're going to stay Friday, Saturday after the burial. When others leave, they're going to stay behind, because obviously, like, you know, they're here to support me, and then they're going to leave Sunday. So number one, obviously, I had to think of what explanation do I have to now give my father and everyone that, oh, they're no longer even going, because she said that we're not even going to eat after the funeral. We're going to just pack our stuff and we're going to go. And then she started talking of how Mr. B told her that, nah, I'm disrespectful. I call him stupid when we're there at school and this and this. And, you know, I basically was like, no ways, that's impossible. And then I asked, like, where is Mr. B? And then said, no, he's in the car, he's too angry, can't even talk. When I said I wanted to go to talk to him, they were like, no, she said, no, his brother's gonna talk to him. I'm looking at it and I'm like, his younger brother, I know can talk to him, but I'm the one that shares the bed with your son, so I can just go and talk. She basically refused to, guys. Or then I should not go anywhere next to the car because Mr. B is very angry at this moment. Hey, blah, blah. Guys, I really honestly didn't understand. On top of having so much stress about like burying my mother tomorrow, I had to basically like sit down and apologize to her. I had to apologize to her to say, no, I'm sorry that we got lost. I didn't mean to. I was just not seeing directions properly. This whole situation of her saying that, Bona, they are poor and whatever. Guys, I didn't even know where that came from. It means that she went to my home and she felt intimidated by whatever it is that she saw. Mind you guys, that's why I wanted you guys to understand and know that I had never even seen where they stay. So how are you going to say someone is poor when you've never even seen where they stay, or you're treating someone somehow? And how is us getting lost my fault? Imagine also after considering the fact that I just saw my mom for the last time. I remember going to bed, you guys, so hurt. That night, I basically told her that we don't have a choice, but I have to sleep at my grandmom's place because of early in the morning. We're gonna have to wake up and you know, obviously dress, wear whatever it is. And I obviously had to be with my sisters because I was just like, I'm not with this craziness. I need to go and be with my mother's children. And so I basically left and I went to my grandmother's place. I drove to my grandmother's place. It was very late at night. I think I went there maybe around past 1, and I did not want to see them bring my mother's casket in the morning and stuff like that. It was just really traumatic for me, you guys. So, you know, I went up there. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell my dad. I didn't tell my aunt. I didn't tell anybody. So I'm going like to the funeral the following day with not only just the hurt of I lost my mom, I'm burying my mom. I'm also going in with the hurt of the man I love brought his mother, who came here and basically made things worse for me. Instead of coming here to support me, she basically came here to shout at me and lie on me and do all those stuff. Honestly, you guys, I was very, very hurt. I was very, very pissed. I was very mad. I remember like going to the funeral. I didn't even cry, but I was just angry in general. That also just added on, you guys. So after the funeral, we went home, and then after going home, I had not spoken to Mr. B since, so I was like, we need to go somewhere that we can just talk, like just the two of us. And when we went there, you guys, like I basically told him that it's over. I can't do this. Like, this is not the, like, it's just not for me. He begged me and he asked for forgiveness. He said his mother was lying, that his mother is very dramatic, and last night he was not mad at me. He was mad at his mother and the way that she treated me in the car. And that, you know, I was like, then why is your mother saying that I was calling you stupid at school and that I'm supposed to? He was like, I never ever said that. Have you ever called me stupid? And obviously I had never called him stupid, even though I should have many times, but I never did. And so for me, I think that I got domed by that to say, okay, like, you know, obviously clearly his mother is lying because I've never called him stupid, and he's also pointing these things out. Last night I never got to talk to him because his mother was basically refusing. She was like, no, you have to sit down, blah blah blah. And then I was like, okay, maybe that is because of that. And then after that, after we spoke, you guys, we basically went back, and then everything was fine. They stayed, and then they slept over, and then they left the following day. So the following day before they left, you guys, this woman is sitting on the couch telling my father that, don't worry, we're gonna be coming back to 𝗣𝗺𝗿𝗲𝗏 very, very soon. It definitely can't even take 7 months. Mind you, this is somebody that doesn't have a cent. The other thing that again that I forgot to tell you guys was that Mr. B, his mother, his brother, no one from his family bought flowers. You guys know that you put flowers on top of a grave. They did not buy flowers. They did not buy anything. I had to go and buy a flower and basically lie and write to say that it's from the 𝗆𝗏𝗏𝗏 family. but they did not bring anything. Even to today, that is something that my family doesn't know, that I actually was the one that bought that flower and basically like, said that they can write a message, and then, and that flower, I remember I bought Friday before we had to go back home and then go to see my mom for the last time. And so after that, they left. Apparently when they got home, they had a fight. He went to Medunsa, and then that was when basically like the split in communications happened. Mind you guys, also I have an aunt of mine that basically came to me and she was like, yo, Owamie, you should be careful of your mother-in-law. And I said, why? And she was asking really weird questions. I'm like, what weird questions? Like, apparently she was asking like if I go to Sangomas because of, she has never seen her son this way. The fact that her son bought me a ring was something that was paining her so much, because she believed whatever money that he had to be sending her, and he should never spend money on me. She would always lie and claim that she didn't even have boopy, like, which is millimil, and like her son has to send money. Well, basically like her whole fight with me has been about money. But other than that, I was married to a liar and a cheat. And when I think about it, it legit just makes my blood boil that I was unable to actually see those stuff. So basically, you guys, when I was now in Free State and everything, and there would be some quarrels here and there, his mother actually then said that, did you not call my son after your mother's funeral to tell him that you're breaking up with him? When you've always threatened my son that you'll break up with him if things happen, blah, blah, blah. And I was shocked at the fact that, yes, I am married to a liar, because the things his mother said have to have been true, since how would she know the conversation that him and I had? Because I never told anybody. I never told anyone. The only person that I told that knows about the story, guys, is my dad. And I told him this time when I was basically telling him that I'm getting a divorce. I felt my father had to know everything, because if I tried to close and hide things from him, then I personally felt like he was not really going to understand about the divorce. Once my father knew everything, which you guys, some of the things you don't even know, once my father knew everything, he was the one that was saying, my child, coming home is acceptable. Like, come home to Venda and stay with me in my house. Like, and my dad and I don't even have that relationship like that. But the way that things were so bad, you guys, like, he was even at a point where he was saying, come home, because I was open to him. And I remember when I told him what happened, to say that the night before we buried mom, this is what she did in the room. My father was so pissed. He was like, the way that man was boiling, he was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, I saw that literally, that hurt my father to the core. He was like, she can't come into my house and reprimand my daughter, especially for some nonsense. Like, especially look at the fact that, like, we're about to bury your mom. Like, my father was really hurt. And I think that, that also made me realize, like, the amount of things that I had to endure and go through, all in the name of love. I didn't see it. He played his game very, very well. And mind you guys, my mom passed 2013. All this, the things that his mother had said, she was not lying. She was telling the truth. That's what he used to call his mother and tell her that I'm disrespectful, I talk back, I call him stupid. He is a psychopath. Psychopath. This is psychopath. In my opinion, I feel like it's a psychopathical liar. I forgot the name. But yeah, that guy is obsessed with people feeling sorry for him. So he will come lie to me about his mother so that I feel sorry for him. And then he will go lie to his mother about me so that his mother will feel sorry for him. So yeah, now wherever he goes, people should just be feeling sorry for him. And it's just fortunate for me, because I'm not someone that will just go on and say I'm gonna hate someone. I'll look at your actions and stuff. I really never used to understand why this woman had such genuine hate for me. The reason why she had genuine hate for me was because of because of her son. Her son would call her and lie and tell him, hey, whatever it is that he wanted to tell her, which would be lies, sometimes would be truth. Like, basically, now it's like I was married to a woman. Because the things that he would do is things that mostly women do. Like, if you have an argument with your partner, it's mostly women that will call their mom, this is what he did. But in this case, it was like the whole switch. After my mom passed, I had my aunt. My aunt has been like a mom to us. So I could have always been calling my aunt like, hey, can you believe this is happening? But I never would, because I understood that I love him and I'll forgive him. But she is not in love with him. So forgiving him is not going to be something that is easy. And in our marriage, relationship, everything, he did a lot of messed up stuff that if I had told people, most people in my family would have said I should leave it. I remember one of my sisters that I love very much, and I was very open with her. There was once upon a time she was like, girl, why don't you just leave this guy? Because of she knew the stuff that I would go through, even though it was not stuff of him cheating and stuff, but I 𝗣𝗺𝗿𝗲𝗏 a lot, you guys. I think that it was just a matter of my idea of, you know, marriage was that, you know, I'll leave if he cheats. So that was like a line that I was like, if he crosses that line, that's when I'm leaving. Guys, I had lowered the bar so low for this man, like with everything legit. But yeah, you know, that whole situation that happened in my mother's funeral really like broke me to the core. And I think that I was also just so vulnerable because I'm 23, I just lost my mom, and thinking also of losing the man that I really was in love with at this moment. Like, it was like I felt like everything was just crashing down. But yes, that situation did have an impact in our relationship. I was angry for a while because I was like, I felt it was his responsibility to defend me. His mother was shouting at me in the car. He was there, didn't say a thing. And I think that that's one of those things that if you are in a relationship that is like that, where your partner can't even stand up for you against his family, it's really going to impact you hard. Because then his family feels they can disrespect you however they want. When a man stands up for his wife, he's not being disrespectful, he's being a man. And I think that that's one of the things that I'll never ever settle ever again when I get my next partner. If you can defend me from your family and your family can treat me like nonsense even in your presence, I'm definitely just not doing it, you guys. I'm honestly just not doing it. But that's basically what happened. I buried my mom, guys, like it was so painful. And after that, I really did start looking at her in a different way. And I honestly legit did love her, you guys. I legit did love her. But she didn't love me. I didn't receive that love back. And it hurt a lot. It really did. Until I just got to a point where I was like, fuck off. By the time that I went to Free State and we only stayed together for, I think it was about 3 or 4 months. And then when I left the house, I never ever spoke to them. I just would walk. If I see them, I would just walk past them. I wouldn't even greet. Some people never understood. Like, you just come now and then, you know, in 4 months, you're tired. You don't even talk to your in-laws. People didn't understand that, no, I had been 𝗣𝗺𝗿𝗏𝗏𝗏 this people for the past how many years? And all the messed up stuff that this woman would actually do. Honestly, I was just at a point where I'm tired. And I knew the kind of people that they were now. So I was like, you know what, I'm not even going to put in effort. If someone can't even feel for you and maybe say that, okay, even if we have a problem, let me reprimand my own child at this moment. Let's come support this child, bury her mom, and then I'll talk to her later. No, she didn't do that, you guys. She was there busy shouting at me. I'm just sitting out here like, did I make you poor? I get that's how you feel, because she was throwing that at me and I had never said anything. Unless if maybe her son then had said, nice, they're poor, which wouldn't make sense, because how would I call someone poor when I've never even met your parents? I've never even met where you stay. I've never even seen where you stay. Like, what would... Honestly, that was just crazy, you guys. At this moment, also, I do believe that Mr. B might have told his mom that Nice said those stuff, because that man can lie. if there's a liar in this world, is that guy. Anything to get people to feel sorry for him, and he looks like the victim, the same way that he cheated on me. And then he even went to a point of calling his deputy principal and sit down and say, I actually have a problem. My wife cheated on me, and she told me that I don't even satisfy her in bed anymore. And she wanted an open relationship, and she got a boyfriend in Secunda, and when I now got a girlfriend here, she kicked me out of the house. Legit, I'm telling you, this is what everyone there was believing, because he has this, people will feel sorry for him because of, he has this innocent look of looking like he's down, but he's not. He knows exactly what that man is doing. He knows very well. And honestly, I'm just, obviously, they're my exes now. I pray to God that my divorce is gonna be finalized soon and I can just move on with my life completely. But at this moment, you guys, like, most of the times will definitely be coming. I am taking my voice back. Like, girl, if you are with a man and his mother, his sisters, his brothers can disrespect you in his presence, and he does not reprimand them, and he doesn't even say that, I'm gonna, even the whole thing of I'm gonna separate you from them, that really doesn't work. Sometimes the reason why he's unable to defend you is because of they are angry of the stuff he told them. So now he doesn't want Uri. If he now comes and starts defending you, they're gonna now start talking about, but you said this about her. Like, why would you still, those kind of stuff? Because that's why his mother believed so much that I wished him. Because she wouldn't understand why is it that I would stay with him after all the stuff, the horrible stuff that I do to him. Like, why would he stay with me? It means the only other explanation that is there is that now I'm using Muti on him. Meanwhile, this whole time, nigga is lying. Guys, honestly, I've gone through it, and okay, there are consequences to that, but it did make me a stronger person. And I at the end of the day, I love where I'm at in life. So it's not something that I would say that, do I have some regrets? Yes, I do. I wish that, when she was busy chappering, I would have chappered back and tell her, pack your bags right now and leave my father's house. But I was young, and, I was trying to understand. This is the first time I'm meeting my mother-in-law. I didn't know this is the type of person she was. So, and then again, like, I'm emotional. It's life. It is what it is. And people will hurt you in the deepest ways. But after that, you guys, oh my gosh, even when we went back, like when we were in Free State, whenever she'd introduce me, she would tell people, this is 𝗣𝗰𝗸𝗴𝗲. They would say Mr. 𝗣𝗰𝗸𝗴𝗲's I name. And then, I was good to, like, at her home, how rich they are, lumntwana, blah, blah, blah. She really has a psychological problem when it comes to, like, money and stuff and all that. I know at home they're well off, but go not as well off as how she would make it seem. And so I definitely saw that, she legit has problems. And when most of the times come, you guys are going to definitely see that. At this point, as I said, I want you guys to look at some stuff and learn from the stuff that I have experienced. Yes, some stuff are obviously painful, and it's like revisiting and going back to stuff that obviously legit hurt. And so my aim is never like to cry in these videos, but if I get to a point where I can control it, like, what is it am I supposed to do? But yeah, that's basically what happened, my ninjas. That's the story time of how my mother-in-law ruined my mother's funeral, and she was just so dramatic, you guys. When my mom's casket was lowered, she screamed like nobody's business. We were all just shocked, like, who's screaming? Like, I didn't cry. My baby sisters were the ones that were being held. My mother's mom, my grandmother, she was just like no one was doing the whole except for her. I didn't understand. Like, she never even met my mom. They only spoke over the phone, and she only saw her the first time on the casket. So she's a very dramatic person. But other than that, also, as I said, she had a problem with her back. So, my father had to be up and down caring for her. And, she needed this medication, she needed that medication. And every time, she would talk about it, she'd be like, how is it that I don't love you if I even went all the way to Venda to support you? Blah, 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 blah. But one thing that she never tells people is this part of the story that basically happened. They are a very evil family. they're a very evil family. I pity the woman that is gonna be married into that family. I honestly legit do. And I pray for her, because I legit hope and pray to God that she has a better experience than the one I had. And this is legit, you guys. I don't know who she is. If it's the one that he cheated with, then yeah, I got so good. But if it's someone that he just meets after me, honestly, I pray for her, because that family is not, something's not okay. The guy is a psychopath and lying. In my opinion, the mother is also the same way. She doesn't mind going to lie, you guys. She will lie. She will go to any extent of lying to get what she wants and to get people's pity. The biggest reason why my father-in-law hates me is because she went and told, actually she and his late son, the younger brother that passed away, went and told my father-in-law that I said my father was more better than him because my father had more money than him. My father has cars, my father has a house, and blah, blah, blah. And so, guys, even if they say that, like, I'm the most dumbest person on earth, how can I go and say that to my mother-in-law? And my father-in-law believed that. So he started hating me. Guys, there's a lot of things that, yeah, happened. Hey, you need to be very careful. And I think that this family just made me have a very bad attitude towards in-laws, where I just look at them and I'm guarded and I'm just like, okay, I'm not part of you. I think that it's gonna take a lot for me to just have to like poison myself from all the venom that I got from that evil family. But other than that, you guys, that's basically what happened. Honestly, just be careful. Yeah, from me, 𝗣𝗰𝗸𝗴𝗲𝗏. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and obviously share, and I'll see you guys in my next upload. Bye, ninjas.